website. I want people to see who you are and your name. So yeah, so I'll let you know. Like there's a button right here. I have like a share button. So I'll let you know to kind of like stay to the left of that button. But, yeah, but I'll let you know, man. I'll tell you exactly where it is in a second. So
right there.
yeah, so turn around like you're talking, so you don't want to. Yeah, so I guess you don't go. Yeah. So, but yeah, if you see me doing this, like you see me leading, I'm trying to find that.
Yeah, go good.
Yeah, so be center.
I'm trying, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want you to be too far off, because I want you to be center of the screen. Don't worry about it. If you see me leaning, just slide over.
Okay,
Yeah, because I sit on that side.
okay,
So as soon as they turn the music down,
that's fine.
so we just wait for them to turn the music down and then we'll get started. So we're waiting on that, then we'll start.
You been up to?
Same thing I do every single day. Huh?
I'm not about to play with you.
What?
I'm not about to play with you.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means.
You. Did you go to National Night Out?
I have not been.
Oh, you should have went.
I thought it was next week.
No, it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I have been so.
But aren't they happening in different neighborhoods around the day?
Yeah, but it's only on October 7th.
Okay. So how do you, I would have to choose which one.
I got invited to like 10, I only made 3.
Is it a 2-hour event?
Some are 2, some are 3,
Okay.
some are 1.
So you only spending what?
So like Laurel Oaks was 1 hour, Mud 304 was 3 hours, and then Antoine was 2 hours.
So you're there, you particularly 25 minutes and you're.
Yeah, I was 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and then I finished off at Mud 304.
That's your area? Okay.
Because that's where the voters are.
That's where what?
That's where the voters are.
Okay. Good reason to stay there the longest.
Yeah, I got like 100 signatures out there that night.
So how close are you to your?
Good morning. Huh?
How close are you to your goal?
That I don't know, but I know I got about 100 signatures.
Education from Lone Star College. Your kid, it's your first step out of the next step in changing your life. Lone Star College is our support and success. 2026 spring registration is open for you to find your path, choose your courses, and start your future. Enroll for spring now. LoneStar.edu/start. People talk about trade. Alternate types. Find your path. You'll find your path. This is the sound of the chapel. Cutting a small fork Jack. Every time he cuts his own hair, it's like Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy. Most farmers and with their mobile app, the savings. However you make money.
Well, look, your message makes me money. Wells Fargo Bank and ever FDIC with alert.
I think this one. All right, we make it. I'm actually live. Any questions for me before we start? Are you good? Okay. Maybe not. Oh.
Oh, I definitely thought that was.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna turn the music down.
I don't know if y'all will be able to hear me with this music. Can y'all hear me? We might be able to. You're right, because that's what it is, it's his recording. Did y'all get those breakfast tacos? No, why are they so? I told them I have them out all the parts and got.
Why, yeah, that's right, it's radio now. They just say, I got no stuff. Right, yeah. They don't show, they don't show those.
But I see him there, he already to the class. I did virtual first. I didn't like that patient. Yeah, this is a big.
So we got the music done and they're working on the tacos as well, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so thank you guys for being here. I sincerely appreciate it. I apologize for the late start. We've had some issues with both the technical stuff, the tacos and getting started. So for those that don't know, Thursday morning breakfast is something that we do every Thursday morning breakfast. And the idea is that we want to make the connection between those that are doing good in the community with those that need that good to be done in their lives. Most people don't know that there's a lot of good things happening in the greater Houston area. But for whatever reason, those that need those good things to make their lives better don't always get that information. So we focus on being the bridge in between the two. So when we have persons like Sister Dominique, who's running for office, we want to do what we can to make a connection between her desire to run and what she wants to do with the people that need to know why she's running and why they should vote for her. Unfortunately, no matter where you go in this country, no matter what the election is, 60, 65, 75% of people who can vote don't vote because there's a disconnect. And we want to make sure that you just set it on the table. We want to make sure that people understand the importance of voting and why they should vote. So we're going to bring up Sister Dominique Payton, who's running for Texas 139th district, and she's going to let us know why her campaign is important, let you know why she's running, and why you should vote for her. So on that note, we can give Sister Dominique a round of applause. She'll come up and do her thing.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you guys so much for being here on this Thursday morning, because y'all could be doing something else with your time, but you decided to come out and talk with me. I kind of like to do a little dialogue. I don't like to just sit up here and talk, because I really like to hear from the people. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll just jump straight into questions. My name is Dominique Payton. I am your candidate for Texas House District 139. That is just a little going this way. This particular business is not in the district. We're talking about Acres Homes, Greater Inwood. If you go up to Kirkendall, up there where those mud districts are, that's where the district border stops. And I'm looking to represent these people. And the reason why I'm running for office is I'm not from Houston, Texas, but when I moved to this district, I came from the 147th over there in Southeast Houston. I came from the 147th and I noticed that there was a drastic difference in between that district and this district. But then I started moving out through other parts of Houston and I realized that the district that I live in currently, which is the 139th, were underserved. And so I started reaching out to different leaders in this community, and I got nowhere real quick. I tried to reach out to the state representative, got nowhere real quick. And so that's why I said, okay, I'm gonna run for office. I was already fed up with what was going on in DC. I was fed up with these school vouchers. I have children myself who attend Texas public schools, and their future, their education matters. So instead of me sitting on social media all day ranting and raving, I decided to get up and I decided to make a difference. So that is how I am here today. So if you have any questions, I am now open to answering them.
Okay, well, I have several questions.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I don't wanna, I wanna hog the mic as I say. So before I get started, does anybody have a question they wanna ask initially? Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
What specifically outside of running for office are you doing in the community to be that bridge? Cause I believe that sometimes we don't find the resource because we are the resource.
Mm.
So what does that look like? You know, I'm rooting for your success, but what does that look like? Should you not be successful? What will you continue to do in this community to become a bridge?
Okay, well, thank you for that question, Ms. Kim. So right now, the two pillars, the main two pillars that are big in my campaign are education and criminal justice. And I can't sit here and tell you that these are my two big pillars and that I'm not doing anything about it, right? And let's just say that I don't get in this seat. What am I gonna continue to do about it? I have launched an initiative called Books and Bites with Dominique, and that's basically where I get out in the community and I bring children to different parks all up and down the district, and I engage them to read. We go to different parks, I feed them snacks, we bring books out, and we're reading because I want to dismantle that pipeline between schools and prisons, and literacy is going to be the way to do that. So that's one thing that I'm doing. And another thing that I'm doing is I did just launch my own nonprofit, and it's for criminal justice reform. And I'm working with different nonprofits in criminal justice reform to see what we can do to go inside of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, work with local law enforcement to see what it is that we can do to stop recidivism, because I come from the criminal justice world. So I know what's going on. I know how that system is set up, and we need to break down the barriers, especially for our people. We need to break down the barriers so we can give these people an opportunity to transition back into and reintegrate back into society and not be a part of recidivism. Yes, ma'am.
I might go back to you and I'm gonna, I'm a hard person, okay? I'm what they call me.
They call you what? Troublemaker, all right, I like it already.
One thing I can say to you is this here, and I know, when you say these people, I live in the Bill of Baker's home, okay? I live in one of them. I've been there for 50 years, okay? And I am what you would call these people, okay? I've went on the streets, and if you look in your district right now, I'm considered as homeless, okay? And that's how far I went. I went and I put on a backpack and some tenants, and I registered myself 15 years ago as homeless. Because Sylvester Turner said, and other people said, that the only people that's in the streets and under the bridges are no good people, dope people, and people that don't want to get help.
Wow.
Okay? So I challenge City Hall and everybody else, and me and about 3 or 4 of us, Ms. Rose and all of us, we got our trucks or whatever and our cars, and we went under the bridge and we lived, and I registered myself, and I'm still registered right now as a homeless victim, okay, under the streets. So I went under the streets, under the bridges, I lived there to see what homeless people go through. And what do they do? And how do they live? I went into the shelters. I went through the shelters. A lot of the streets was my favorite, okay? I still go through a lot of streets. The reason I haven't went through a lot of streets the last year is because I took on my great niece's children. Okay. But I'm gonna get a way to get back in there. Okay. the reason that y'all have such a hard time, getting into the votes and stuff is because you don't put yourself back into the streets. And when I say into the streets, is that we don't know you until you get ready to vote,
Right.
okay? And when I say that is, if you don't get into the streets and get into the lower parts of the street, and let me scared, okay? I'm putting it just like that.
Who's scared?
Well, people are usually scared.
Oh, okay.
To the neighborhoods where the apartments are, like Garden City,
Mhm.
Nigger City, and all that. But those are the main places where you get your name, okay?
Mhm.
You get your name out of Garden City, you get your name out of Nigger City apartment. You get your name out of the lowest parts of apartments, because you get your name out of places like Acres Home. Because if they know you in Acres Home, your name gonna spread like fire.
Mhm.
It's gonna go all the way through the Fifth Ward, because you're dealing with the children that really need you and the people that really need you, okay? And I say that, say this here, I don't know you, okay? I've never seen you before.
Mm.
And I'm in Garden City all the time. I'm in Lincoln City all the time. I feed the hungry. Every Sunday,
So what's your
I don't
question?
have that much money.
What's your question for her?
I'm telling her, there's no question.
Okay.
If I don't know you, then you going nowhere. Everybody don't vote for you. Because first place, we see fighting for our district. Well, we don't know nothing about you. So who you fighting for?
When is your election?
Primary is March 3rd.
March, okay, so that's a valid point. If-
And I'm
if-
fixing to address it.
There you
And I'm so glad that you came. I was really hoping that someone from Acres Homes who's in that community actually showed up, because let me be transparent with you. I'm not going to negate anything that you're saying, because it's factual, okay? But what you're looking at is not a career politician, okay? I am not a career politician, so you're not just gonna see me around election time. This is my first run. I've never asked you for your vote. I've never asked you for a signature. Acres Homes itself has tried to blackball me because of the sitting incumbent. That is okay, because Acres Home is still a big part of this district. 88% of Acres Home is in this district. Now, I have not got to canvass Acres Homes the way that I want to, but that's not going to stop me. And I agree, getting out there and on the ground and going and making yourself available is what's going to get those votes. Any neighborhood that I canvass out here every weekend, you can check my track record. Every weekend I'm out here canvassing in these neighborhoods, in this district, talking to people. The very first time I ever sat in here and spoke in here, there were people from Acres Homes in here who wanted absolutely nothing to do with me, because I am not the sitting incumbent. But that is okay, because Acres Home has a lot of history. And I'm aware of that. There is a lot of rich history. There's a lot of culture in Acres Homes. And I understand that change is scary sometimes. And you don't know what it looks like to be under the leadership of Dominique Payton, because I've never ran for office. I don't have anything that you can go off of, that you can look at and say, oh, well, she did this, she did that, she did this. But facts are facts. And the fact of the matter is, anybody who has sat in this seat, they have not done much for Acres Homes thus far. So I'm so glad that I am able to meet with you. And if you'll just stay behind for a quick second before, when this is all and done, I would like to get with you and I would like to get your contact, because Dominique's not afraid to go anywhere. I will go anywhere. I will meet you in the trenches. I will go to the clubs. I will come to your church, because I have to reach the people. And fact of the matter is, in this last election, if I'm just being transparent and the numbers are out there, if you don't believe me, Acres Homes didn't vote. The votes came from the north of the district. And from my understanding, that community used to vote. They used to be very powerful in their voting. So me as a candidate who wants your vote, who's going to ask for your support, I have to engage that community again, because for whatever reason, that specific community is underserved, is underrepresented. There's not money coming in to raise it up, but they're gentrifying everything. They're raising your property taxes. They're building on top of these landfills. But what are you getting on your return, your investment? Your vote is your investment. So when you're casting these votes at these ballots for these politicians that you only see during an election, what are they doing for you? Nothing. And that is why I'm running for this seat right now. I know you don't know me from a can of paint, But if you'll watch me from afar and if you'll get to know me, you'll learn that I'm a woman of my word. And anybody that I work with in the district now, because I've been at this for almost 4 months, they'll tell you, if I say I'm gonna do something, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so to her point, which is a very
Wait a
valid,
minute.
okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What I'm saying is here, I'm not saying that you're not going to be, but what I'm telling you is how to get in there. That's what I'm telling you.
And I
not telling
understand.
you- I'm not telling you how not to, and who all else backball or whatever. What I'm telling you is how to get into these neighborhoods. And I'm not just talking about Acres Home. I'm talking about their ward, I'm talking about their ward. If the people don't know you, and the reason they don't know is because you can walk up to the door right now and ask them, who is the most powerful person that you know right now? Who is he? You're not gonna just say, and I am such a, they're gonna say, who?
Yeah, right.
Who you talking about?
Yeah.
Right. And that's the oldest person in his home. And they gonna get on their phone and call, Ruth, who is Cinch?
Yeah,
Because they don't know it. It ain't just you. But that's why they don't vote, because they don't know the people.
Right.
The signs are there,
Right.
but they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. If they don't know you, they don't know your name, they don't know you, they don't know nothing about you, they don't know you.
and to her point, what's going to make you different than you don't have a track record
Right.
of doing work in the community.
Right.
They don't know you. And they don't know you because you haven't been there. So how are you going to increase that hole you have in your candidacy, in that, like you just said, which is true, politicians don't show up until they want your vote.
Right.
You're showing up because you want their vote, but you haven't done anything in the community. So how are you going to get people to know you? What are you going to do in the community so that they can get your vote?
So I actually just found this page. Actually, I found a few pages. And to sum it all up, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm going to have to get in the community. So when y'all are having different events, different organizations are out there, they're working, whether that's the farmers market, whether that's out feeding the homeless, whether that's engaging voters to get out there. I'm going to have to start knocking on doors and talking to people and start coming out into the community, because I'm not just here asking for your vote, because just like Miss Kimberly asked, okay, Dominique, you're running for office, but if you don't get in this seat, what are you gonna continue to do to better the community, to raise up the community? Because we see politicians, and when they lose, you don't see nothing else of them.
That's right.
They're not doing anything else in the community, and they weren't doing anything before, they started running for office. And so when you look at that posture, those are people usually who just want to get in that seat. But I'll come to your home, I'll come to your church, I'll come to your family reunion, I'll go out in the streets with you and feed the homeless. I just have to know about these things. But for me, I'm gonna have to get out in the community so I can expose myself to you guys in Acres Homes. Yes, ma'am.
So I asked this question. Do you remember, everywhere is not community, right? What are your legs? And what I mean by that is, relationship is everything.
Mhm.
Right? I look for several things, but my main two things in any candidate, and I don't care about the superstar candidates. I'm not sure about that. I care about my community
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're gonna be one person
Mhm.
representing a large community.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
What are your legs that when you're busy legislating, because that's a full-time focused job when you're in session.
Yes, it is.
What are the relationships that you're developing? For instance, money district over here, they got some money
Mhm.
and they got a grant writer. I know because I used to pay grant writers for the money districts.
Mhm.
How are you gonna make that district play with this district?
Mhm.
When we're living in an environment like we are now, where our money's being cut off to certain communities and
That's
all
right.
that.
That's right.
Do you have a plan to make your district play together?
Good question.
That is a good question, and thank you for that. So as she was mentioning those MUD districts, I actually just had a meeting yesterday with MUD 22 and their directors. And 2 weeks before that, I had a meeting with MUD 304 and their directors. And I was speaking with them about the difference and contrast between up there in the north, because that's usually where the MUD districts are for this district. They're up there in the north, and then we're down here in Acres Homes, Greater Inwood, Independence Heights. I have an entire plan to try to draw the 139th together. And it's gonna start with people like your city councilmen, your councilwomen, your directors of the MUD district, but also small businesses. I truly believe that if we all congregate together, and even the pastors, me and my campaign manager have set something up to where we're working with the pastors, because they deal with the vast majority of the people. And if we're all working together, unity is going to be key to bring the north part of the district and the south part of the district together, because what we need down here in the south is not what they need up there in the north. But just because we need different things, that doesn't mean that we cannot work together. So that's how I plan to do that, is to get with officials. As a legislator, I can use my voice and that authority to bridge the gaps. Because if I'm just being transparent, you guys, when I'm out here canvassing and I'm asking people what are their legislative concerns, what are their legislative needs, I don't really think that people fully understand what a legislator is. And so I break it down and I explain it to them, because the problems that they bring to me, your city councilmen handle, your local officials like police, fire departments, they handle these issues. Your mayor handles these issues. So if that's what we're needing, then in 139, we need to all rally together to strengthen this district. And that's how I plan to do that.
You
Yes.
you said that churches are talk to most of the people.
Yes, because in
Hold on. In your experience, what's her name?
Miss Kimberly,
Miss Kimberly, in your experience, do churches speak to most of the people?
No, it fell out. First of all, the laws just changed, okay? They can't talk. And even now, even though the laws changed to say that churches can now endorse, we don't know what that looks like, so it's still.
But do our people even go to church anymore like that?
You got the older saints, I'm older, so I can say it out loud. We got the older saints, but the millennium and down below, they're online.
Yeah.
Right, and again, communities are now going to the lounge area,
Mhm.
they call it something else now,
Mhm.
but we don't leave our communities anymore. Which is why, like I said earlier, my campaign kickback is focused in small business, because you can go in most small businesses in a community and you'll see a gathering of our people, young and old alike.
Yeah.
That's Bar and Grill, I see 86-year-old, family, South Pole.
Mhm.
So to your point,
Yeah.
church, there's been a mass exodus that got even broader when COVID hit.
Yeah, and Ms. Fontenot, you next. I brought that up because that's a misconception that our people congregate at the church and the church is the center or whatever the hell. It would be nice if it was, maybe back in the 60s, but it's not that anymore. So take what your elders are telling you and use that because they're correct.
for sure.
Yeah, so we have to go where the people are, and our people aren't in church like that anymore. And that don't mean you don't go to the church. That means that you include these lounges, you include the online community,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to younger people, because that's where you're going to reach a broader audience, and it's going to help you do what you're trying to do. So that's why I brought that back up. Ms.
Well, thank
Fontenot,
you.
you up?
Yes. You as a younger person and me as a seasoned person, why did you jump to the middle level
Good question.
of running for something? Why didn't you start at a local level? Because there are many steps that you're missing by jumping to that middle level. Because that middle level, the next step is going to DC.
Yeah, good question.
And people are going to remember that you jumped all those steps.
Thank you for that question. So if I'm being completely transparent, the Lord and I had a conversation about this, and the Lord called me to run for Texas House, not City Council. And that's why I'm not running for a lower level seat. This is not something that I ever wanted to do. I just wanted to go to school, get a criminal justice degree, go to law school, and that was gonna be it. But earlier this year, the Lord kept pounding me and pounding me and pounding me about this, and then those school choice vouchers passed. And in March, he just kept pressing it in my spirit, and I was fighting against it for a little while, if I'm just being completely transparent, because I've never run for office. I didn't know the first thing about launching a campaign. I didn't know a lot of people in the political realm besides the judge and, his friends that I worked for. And I didn't know a lot of people in the community, but that's why I'm here. That's how I got here. And when we're talking about what I'm trying to do, which is legislate and create laws, you can't do that on a lower level, because when I look at the issues that we're going against, when I look at the things that is going to need to be changed, it's not just money that's gonna fix these problems. There are laws that are being set in place to suppress me and to suppress you. So that is why I did not run for a lower level seat before I decided to run for Texas South.
Can I interject something? I'm not there earlier on, let me just say this. There are a couple star people that's in the state Congress right now that never ran. I worked with them. We went to Washington and raised our voices, right? She happened to have gone viral because she talked that talk with the HIV who take over, right?
Okay.
Because that was her area of expertise,
Mhm.
but she is a heck of a legislator now, and she jumped,
Mhm.
right? I think that someone, the youth are running because they hear the next where we, truth be told,
Yeah.
we're disconnected from the generation that's like.
Sure, yes, ma'am.
We do need somebody to show, because we've done it our way, right? Go through these mazes.
Mhm.
And if you're not popular with the party, they put their thumb on you. So I'm glad to see somebody that's not popular or chosen by the party to be running for. To me, that's a part of our issue.
Mhm.
We're going along to get along. When they got hired in their chest, they don't know to be scared.
Mhm.
And that's what we need. Somebody that don't know to be scared.
Yeah.
Instead of electing the same people who go along and get along.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about everywhere. In DC, I see how that stuff rolls down.
Mhm.
People don't know that right now, our right to go to law school and get certified is already been trampled on because the Texas Supreme Court has taken over
Yep.
the final step.
Yes.
So we need you.
Yeah.
Where information is being put on social media more than in the newspaper.
Right.
So I just want to say that to balance the conversation.
Okay.
I'm not against you. I do have questions that I ask in the public, so we all in these communities. We have a full view, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of electing superstars.
Yep,
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah, so that's a valid point. And Ms. Fontenot's point is also valid, which is an issue. So, and this goes to what Ms. Ruth said initially, because you are jumping, because you haven't done anything in the community on the grassroots level, because people don't know you, because you haven't done anything. So I hear where you're coming from. However, there is something to be said for a track record. There is something to be said for building up your resume. There's something to be said for checking some boxes that would help you better understand what you're trying to do on this level, because this is a few levels up.
Right.
And that goes to my question. I went to your website, we've had conversations. The things that you want to change are commendable. But you're talking about serious, and you said this earlier, systems,
Yes.
criminal justice system, the affordable housing system, healthcare system, educational system. My question is, how are you going to affect these systems when you are someone who don't have a lot of experience, you don't have a track record, you are jumping? How are you going to affect these? Indeed, I say these racist multi-billion-dollar systems. How is Sister Dominique going to affect these systems to create the kind of change that she wants to bring to the people?
Thank you for that question. So when we're talking about these systems, criminal justice, healthcare, housing, these are big systems where the majority of the people in this room were suppressed in these systems. I don't really think that you need a track record to change this system. You need innovation, and you need a plan and a sense of direction. So starting at a lower level, I truly don't believe it has much to do with how I'm going to change this system. And if there was a younger crowd in here as well, the conversation would be going back and forth about this, because as you see right now, if you're looking in your current Texas legislation, you are seeing buku young people rising up who have never ran for office, running for this same seat that I am running for, because we're tired, right? You guys have been tired, but now we're tired. And so now that we're tired, we're finally standing up and we're pushing back in this system. And these are large systems.
Mhm.
And the way that I plan to dismantle these things, and I know that is a very strong word
That
to
is
use.
a big word too.
It
Yeah.
is, but it's gonna take time. As soon as I go to Austin, March of 27, don't expect for the criminal justice system, the healthcare system, the housing system to be completely dismantled.
Right.
That's not what I'm telling you. Don't walk away with that, okay? But what I am telling you is, as I have time in legislation, day one in the Capitol, I am going to be creating those relationships. I am going to be working with my colleagues on the left and on the right, Democrats and Republicans. And I'm going to try to sit and we're going to talk and we're going to try to reason about these things, because the problem right now is that it's a pool when we're talking about our Texas legislation. And if you don't have people who are able to come to the round table and say, we need to work together for the greater good of the people,
Mhm.
nothing is ever going to get done. You don't have people in your Texas legislature right now challenging these systems because they don't see nothing wrong with it, because it probably doesn't affect them.
Mhm.
But when you look at young people, when you look at young women, when you look at young women of color, we are affected by criminal justice, healthcare, housing, childcare, the schools. So I have to be able to go in there and I have to work with everybody in there,
Mhm.
present my plan, and to try to negotiate with these people to get it done. And another thing is, I'm gonna have to be vocal about it with the constituents,
Mhm.
because there are power in numbers. And when you engage your constituents and you're letting them know, this is how this is going, this is how I would like it to go, because they throw the word equality out.
Mhm.
But a lot of those people in legislation have no idea what that word means,
Mhm.
because certain people can get certain things and others cannot. Some people can do some things, others cannot, and it really just depends on what you look like. And so my job is going to be to go in there and to work with these other legislators and to come to a common ground for the better good of the people.
Okay, so a lot of people assume that these systems are broken.
Mhm.
And they're not broken because they were designed to be that way. So how are you going to get people who don't want to work with you? They don't care to work for you, because as you just said, the system benefits them
Mhm.
because that's how the system is set up.
Mhm.
So you're not going to be able to negotiate with racist people because they don't care. So you affecting the system by trying to get evil people to do right is unrealistic and is not going to happen.
That is true.
So again, getting these systems to work for the benefit of the majority of the people. To do that, you have to, and this goes back to having a foundation that you built locally. It goes back to having people that got your back. And I want you to go into this thing with your eyes open, because you're not the first one to say, I got to get people to all come together. America's not based on people coming together.
Right.
America's a racist place, has always been that way.
Yeah.
So getting the system to do right by people, because the system isn't, that's not realistic, because that's not how the system works, and the system is designed to be unfair, to be unequitable, because it's a racist system. So keep that in mind as you move forward, because getting people to do right who don't care don't matter. Ms. Ruth?
I want you to keep this in mind too, and Will, Mr. City will tell you, this is my whole thing all the way through. People forget about people like us. Because of the fact that the people like us and poor people everywhere, some of us can read. Most of us don't understand. Nothing about the vote.
Yeah, that's true.
We vote from word of mouth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We vote because our parents voted.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't care, we don't know anything about what's in the legislation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know anything about what's being done. All we know is what we see.
Yeah.
And what we hear. And when y'all get up there, y'all forget where you come from.
Mm.
What you've been done, you only remember about the paperwork of what you see. But if you just go back to us on the ground,
On the ground.
put you there
Yeah.
anyway.
On the ground.
Those people that can't read, that don't understand, that's gonna put you there anyway
Mhm.
because of what you do. Not by what you say,
Right?
but what I said, what you do in the neighborhoods. And what they see you do. Not what they hear, but what they see you do.
That's right.
That's what keeps the system going. That's what put Obama there.
Hmm.
That's what put Sheila Jackson there. It's how she worked in them neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It wasn't about what they heard about, or
Come
what
on.
they see her do.
Come on, Miss Ruth.
See, and that's what's gonna keep you and put you where you need to be. It ain't about all this footwork and paperwork you talking about. And that's all I'm telling you. Is what they see you do, them poor people.
Mm.
Cause the majority of them people next home in third ward and fifth ward, they didn't want to vote. Them older people.
Mm.
And they the one telling their children, you must vote. The only way you gonna get there, like I told my children, is you got to vote.
Yeah.
That's what getting them. They don't know what the hell they voting for.
That's right.
Well, if I vote Democrat, my whole house gonna vote Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what gets you there. And when y'all get up there, y'all forget the ground put you up there.
Mm.
It wasn't because you fight for our district. We don't know what the hell district is.
That's right.
We don't even know what the hell it started. We couldn't tell you the end acres home to the front acres home. We couldn't tell you. Because that wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
I started Democrat because my mama started Democrat. My daddy started Democrat. But I didn't learn what Democratic meant till I got the tops.
Mm.
I didn't learn that my yard was all my yard till I got the tops. And started studying the city. But I had been voting Democrat all my life.
Okay.
So that's all I'm telling you.
Before we get to Miss Fontenot, do you want to address what Miss Ruth just said?
You know, I really appreciate you. I really do. Because I like authenticity. I like real and I like raw. Because the more that you watch me, the more you're going to realize that that is me. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And I'm not even going to negate anything that you're saying because I say the same thing. And again, that's why I'm running for office. Because I'm tired of casting my votes. I know what's going on in legislation. I know how to read, I know how to write, I know how to find laws. I'm studying for law school. I can do all those things, okay? But I'm no different from you. Because if my legislator does not come back from Austin and tell me get back in the community and tell me what's going on, I have to go and find that myself, but yet you get paid with my tax dollars. They get $600 a month. They get $261 in session. They get a $20,000 budget every month when they're in session, 18,000 when they're out of session of your money. I'm paying you to represent me at that capital, and I'm not getting a return on my investment. You're not in the communities. I would love to work with you. If you're in the community, if you're in Acres Homes, I would love to work with you. I'll come anywhere, I'll go anywhere, because that really is who I am at the core. I'm not afraid of rolling up my sleeves and getting out there and doing the hard work. I don't care if you elect me to go to Austin to be your state representative. I wake up in the morning and I put my pants leg on one pant leg at a time, just like you do. I'm not here to get famous. I'm not here to rob you blind. I'm not here to try to get clout and make a name on myself so I can blow up on social media and social media can get paid. I have real problems. I just look like this, right? When people see people up here like this, I think y'all tend to forget that we have real problems. I think y'all tend to forget that we're human just like y'all are. But that's because not you, but the vast majority of people would put these people on pedestals as if they're God, and they're not. I am a human being just like you are. I am affected by this system just like you are. It would be a shame for me to get in this seat and I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, and the way that I run up and down this district, collecting signatures, going into these neighborhoods, talking to people, trying to figure out what their problem is so I can go back home and I can create a plan to take to Austin to try to reason with people who do not look like me. The vast majority of those people up there don't look like me. They don't think like me. They didn't struggle like I do. You don't know what it feels like to be on food stamps all your life, or Medicaid is your only way of health insurance. You don't know what it feels like to go to public school because your parents can't afford private school. You don't know what it feels like to be exposed to certain violence or to hear gunshots by your window and how it creates anxiety. A lot of those people don't know about these things. So I get what you're saying because I'm too bad. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. A pair of lips will tell you anything. And honestly, pay attention to these politicians when y'all go to them ballots. Really examine them as a person. Stop listening to them, like you said. Stop listening to them and watch what they're doing. If you're legislators, if you're city councilmen, if you're a congressman and you're a congresswoman, I don't care how high you go, you're president. If they're not in these communities trying to engage you, trying to really do something for you, give back to the community, they got all this money in these campaign funds, what are they doing for the community? Check my expenditures and you'll see what I'm doing with my campaign funds. I'm in the community. So when I tell you I understand, Ms. Ruth, I am with you more than what you know.
Right, Ms. Fonda?
You, provided that you win, you will be going up there as a junior legislator. Have you started working with people that are already up there? And the two-part question, what do you think about those propositions that will be on the ballot?
We're gonna get to those propositions. So as soon as I announced my candidacy, and I keep my receipts for anybody who wants to try to call my bluff, I have reached out to the vast majority, it's 149, including the sitting incumbent. So if you include the sitting incumbent, 150. I've reached out to the vast majority of these legislators. I've been to the Capitol twice since I launched my campaign. Democrats will not speak to me because of the sitting incumbent. The Republicans, and this is me being transparent, have said, when you're primary, you can come back and we can speak, because they don't want the sitting incumbent to feel as if they're working against them. So it's not that I'm not trying to work with people who are already in Austin, because I'm gonna need their wisdom, you know, because I am new to this. I network with different people in the community. Politicians, right? I've tried to work with some of them. Some of them I shy away from, and others I try to, listen. But I have been trying to work with these people because I would be a junior legislator, and I did skip those steps. But the same way that I've learned what I've learned thus far, I truly believe God is going to give me what I need when I am appointed or elected that position. So I don't stress too much about that, but that is a good point. I am going to need those connections, and I am going to need to know how to legislate, because I have 5,000 bills that I want to propose, but I need to know how to propose them. Yes, ma'am.
So today,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's common knowledge, but when you win an election, I get you win it one time or over and over.
Mhm.
You go to front.
Yes, you do.
number one. Number two, there's the commercial black caucus. They embrace them. They make sure they don't fail. They have to stick together. So there is a village
Mhm.
that trains you on everything. There are classes you can take now.
Okay.
Cause I've been in about legislating. I know how to write legislation. I know how to follow the bill. I know how to committee, I know lobby, all those things. So, the key point is that you start building a village now. Austin is gonna embrace you if you're in that seat.
Right.
Right now, that's their system,
Mhm.
right? And so they don't throw them away because they have personal relationships. But once you're in the seat, you'll see
Right.
things open up. They will talk to you, embrace you, because it's politics.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm just kind of piggybacking off of her because I also work in a legislative and third. So I would suggest if you went to come back, work with those of us who can help find policy that fit that work for our communities. Because there are oftentimes, like when all this gentrification happened. Probably, Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna go because that'll be.
I get it though, I get you though.
I'm just saying, so come back, because I'm also familiar with writing policy.
Okay,
So you can put the community voice in what we need.
yes,
People that understand like how important policy is.
yes.
Everything works. I had a baby that died, genital heart defect. Nobody knows that, but when I was in the legislature, I saw the people coming to advocate, the people that come in to advocate.
The lobbyists.
The lobbyists, okay.
I saw a lot of this coming, I'm sorry, I just got a lot.
No, it's okay.
But that made me realize that even what I went through on that level,
Mhm.
there were lobbyists there for a reason, but it wasn't necessarily for my cause.
Right.
But policy needs to be written again so that it brings into what you see every day,
Right.
written into policy.
100%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here, I said, when she first won,
Uh-huh.
I state, Rep. Shantier.
Yeah.
The very first thing she did, I mean, and this is for anybody, this is like our like civics engagement. The very first thing she did was open up and do a workshop for policy writing. Right, and she's an attorney, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Effective community. She used her skills and she taught us how to write policy.
Yeah.
So now she had a whole team. So when she had things, her team would say, no, this is not gonna work, no, you need to work this, so that 5,000 policies would turn into maybe 6 bills that you could present.
Mhm.
But she developed her team, so again, there is a tribe and a community
Yeah.
that help you.
And listen, the resources that these women were just speaking about, it's not really legislation, but I don't feel like my job stops at just legislating, right? Because I'm only gonna be in Austin for 6 months. And this is something else that you need to look at, with your legislators. If we're only going to Austin for 6 months, we serve 2 terms, right? So what are they doing for the other 18 months? And that's what I plan to do with my other 18 months, as long as they don't call us back in a special session, because if we're in a special session, I have to be at the Capitol. But when I come back to Houston, that is what I plan to do, is engage the community with maybe learning how to write policies. But there are other things myself that I want to bring to the community, because like you were saying, some people don't know how to read, some people don't know how to write, even our adults. And when I tell you I want the 139s to thrive, I'm talking from children to elderly. Like, I literally don't want anybody to feel left behind. So I'm already working on programs, and I'm trying to work with different people in the communities. Miss Sonia right here, she's an educator. She's big on AI, she's big on STEM. That's how her and I met, because these are some of the things that I'm wanting to bring into the community. So my job is not just gonna stop at your legislator. I have to lead, and I have to be the change that I want to see for the 139. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, point of contention on one thing, and then I'll ask you a question. My point of contention is, like they said, I like this training ground for you. Don't say the other 6 months they're doing nothing. Most of our legislators are small business owners. Right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say they're not doing anything. I said, what are they doing?
They are small business
They're
owners.
running their business.
So you can't ask, you gotta know what they're doing so that you don't sound contentious.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Good point.
That's
And
what you're
you
saying.
don't share.
Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to say.
Because one
Yeah.
of somebody's statement, you're
Yeah.
implying they're not doing it.
I know what you're saying.
They are small business owners, right? They have children, which leads me to my next question. And this is a point of contention too, but I'm gonna ask it so you be prepared better next time. You have children.
Mhm.
You are doing books and bikes.
Mhm.
Your children are busy in school activities. What do you think you're gonna be doing in the next 6 months?
Good point.
When you die, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You balance being all that you sound like you want the legislators to be with your life, your real problems, because you still have to swim, sink, or adopt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how are you proposing, what is that work-life balance gonna be for you?
Good question. Good question.
So God has blessed me, and I can't speak for everybody,
Mhm.
but I have a village.
Okay.
I have a personal village, a family. Like I said, I'm not from here, I'm from East Texas. But whatever it is that I want to do, because my family knows that I was always destined to be big and for greatness, and that I was going to be hands-on in whatever I do. I go to some of these events, you'll see my mom, you'll see my kids, you'll see my sister, you'll even see some friends. That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I do have a track record.
And it's a real
for that.
question, too.
It is, and I
Yeah.
do have a track record for that one.
Yeah, of course.
Because when I was an undergrad, I attended Wiley College in Marshall, Texas, and I was going through a divorce after 10 years. I was chief justice at my HBCU. I was vice president over the student ambassadors. I was maintaining a 4.0 GPA average, and I was raising 4 small children. Now, a lot of people seem to think that I excelled during that time in my life, but that was a very dark time in my life.
Okay.
But hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
God and my village kept me afloat. When you see me excelling in one area, I may have been lacking in another. I'm never gonna paint a picture like I'm perfect, because I'm not. But those 3 years, God got me through, and I was able to maintain my GPA. I did finalize my divorce. I was still chief justice. I was still the student ambassador, and I was still raising these good children. So you have to have that work-life balance, and mine just happens to be because I do have a good system put in place who's able to be there for me and be there for my children, because as a legislator, you do have to go away, for 6 months to Austin, and then when you come back, you have constituents who voted you in that seat. And I personally believe, because this is what I'm screaming from the mountaintops, you're gonna have to have town halls, you're gonna have to have meet and greets, you're gonna have to indulge and you're going to have to engage voters to vote, and that takes a lot of time on top of being a full-time worker, a full-time mom, and I'm studying for law school. So I get it, and I'm not asking anything from a legislator that I'm not willing to do myself. I work myself tirelessly to do these things, and I'm gonna do it as a legislator.
Okay, yeah, wait, hold on, she has a question too.
Yes.
I would like to say that, when it comes to, we're talking about her youth and her lack of not following the steps and things of that nature, that's not, I end up with her. We should say it's not necessarily, necessary, because in our day and time, we're not. But what I do want to say is that for our seasoned people who are there, they need to be a part of your building, so that
But
we
it's
can
not-
sit
yeah.
and have meetings.
Yes.
That, but we're not attacking the youth of it all.
Right.
Because sitting on the side, it kind of seems a little like you're attacking the youth of it all. Dispel the fact of the youth of it all, and because it's different with everything that we're going through now, especially with AI being infused,
Yes.
and everything is new again.
Yeah.
And one thing that I will say is that AI is the great equalizer, be it education or whatever, right? You have some of our elders who are shy away from that, but we have to educate them anyway, because that's just the way that things are going to go. That allows you to maybe keep them up to date on what's going on in the legislature from your point, but then they give you that foundation of where we came from. But in all reality, and I don't live in Dayton, I live in Studentwood, and it's pretty much the same thing, right? You get those people over there and they come in and they say what they're gonna do, and they show up and they shake hands and they kiss face.
Yeah.
And then you don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
You go to them and you say, hey, well, what about building this in the community? What about doing this in the community? What about doing this in the community? You don't see it until it's a few months before it's time for them to show up so they can say, look at what I've done. But I think it's important that we start to build a bridge between our older community and our younger community.
Yeah.
So that our younger community is cemented in the history of it all,
Yes.
but then our elder community sees the changes that are coming, because the bottom line is this: the way that we've been doing it ain't working. That's why we are in the position that we're in. The people that we got up there, I'm not gonna say that all of them are speaking, but I'm going to say that the voices are muted.
Yep.
They've been muted, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because you don't see them back here.
Yeah.
You don't see them back here. You don't see them coming to talk to you every day to find out what your situation is. And realistically, we know that she can't, so we need to build a system so that I represent her. She can't be here. I'm here. What's going on? Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can come up with. I'll take it back to her. She has to have a committee.
Right.
So we need to build a committee.
Yeah.
This room should be fully
I
this
agree.
room should be full of elders and young people alike.
That's right.
But the young people, most of them have work and some of them ain't gonna get up this early, but our elders will.
Yeah.
They'll get up and have coffee
Yeah.
and they'll come and talk to you, but we gotta let them know that this is what's happening.
Right.
And if we gotta get a little van or something to go pick them up, bring them over here, then that's what we
Then so
gotta
be
do.
it. Mhm.
But it's important for the elders that are in the community, where people know, they'll talk to you before they talk to me, because they don't know me.
Right.
And that's just the way that's just the way that our people are submitted. I don't know you, I don't really trust you, so I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
But they know you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can say, hey, I'm going to listen, you can hear this girl talk. Let's see what she got to say. Let's see how we can help by bringing our concerns from our community to the table.
Right.
So that then we can have a true roundtable. I'm not necessarily asking you to prove anything to me at this point, because you really can't. Actions speak louder than words. So all I can do is watch and pray that I have put my faith in the right person.
Mhm.
Okay, and that's really all that we can do. And that's basically all I want to say, is that I want us to build a community.
Yep.
So that we can take a young candidate who sees things differently, have her explain what she sees differently and where the differences are, so that then you all will then be able to embrace what the younger people are coming into.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, being in education, I've been in education for 26 years.
Hmm.
Teaching in a poor neighborhood, right now I'm in
Teaching
Albany, in a poor neighborhood.
Point.
Yeah, which is most of our neighborhoods, most of our schools are
Sure,
tied
yeah.
to freshman stuff,
Yes, ma'am.
are tied in those schools.
Yeah.
And I see the disparity in what our kids get and what their kids get.
Mhm.
But let me tell you, we have a system now where it doesn't matter what your zip code is, doesn't matter who your mama was, doesn't matter how much money your mama made, doesn't matter none of that. The AI is the great equalizer. All you need is internet access and something to work with.
Okay, we want to try and wrap this up because we're running out of time. So I have a question, then she has a question, then we're gonna break the flow. But do you want to address what she said before I ask mine? Thank you.
I just want to point out what she is saying is valid and it's very imperative. And that's what I was saying. When I leave Austin, it's not just your job is done. I have to come back to the 139 before I even assume office. I'm trying to create these systems that will work and these pieces that will move so we are thriving. And it's gonna start by creating those systems. So thank you for that, Ms. Sun.
Okay, so you are not a small business owner, correct?
No,
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned systems, because I was gonna go back to these systems that you want to change, that need to be changed. What keeps these systems going, what keeps the grease in the wheels of the systems is money. And our people don't have a lot of money. But that doesn't mean we can't get a lot of money.
Right.
So this is a two-part question. What are you going to do to bring money in the way of business to the 139? And what are you going to do to help the small business that already exists in the 139 to be bigger, better, and stronger? Because if you bring money
Mhm.
and you help people make money, it'll give you the grease that you need to change some of these corrupt systems that are running on other people's money.
I'm gonna try to keep this as short as I can, y'all, because I'll go on and on and on about this. But one of the things that I'm running on right now is enriching our small businesses and bringing business to this district.
Yep.
It's gonna be easy to bring it to the north side of the district, because when you look at the north side and you look at the south side, they're two different, like arenas, right? In the south side of the district, we need small businesses raised up out here. When I went over here to Inwood Postal, it's a whole like brick and mortar out there of multiple Black owned small businesses. And I went over there and I spoke with them and they were like, Dominique, we're barely surviving out
Mm.
here. And I said, why? And they said, because Hispanics have come in and they've taken over everything and they don't want to work with us.
Mm.
Well, that's problem number one, is I have to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
So now I'm having to work with the Hispanics and I'm having to work with the African Americans to try to bridge that gap. I want to create this small business expo. Me and my campaign manager were already working on it. But what it is I've partnered with the SBA and I've partnered with Baker Rickley to bring these small businesses together in the same room, let them network together and bring them resources that they need. Because what we're learning is it's not that the access to capital is not there,
Mhm.
you just don't know how to get it.
Okay.
So I have to educate you as a small business owner. And this is something that I plan to do before I even assume office. I have to get in front of these small businesses and I have to get them the resources that they need, whether it's marketing, because you're a business owner, you're not a marketer, two different things. Get them the resources, getting them their paperwork together so they can walk into these banks and they can have their stuff together so they can qualify for these grants, for these loans, whatever it is that they're needing. And then the first part of the question was,
Bringing business to the district and helping business that already did.
so, the one of the first things that I started to do when I started working with small businesses, I had this question in my head because I'm not a business owner, okay? My expertise is law. I said, what does it take to bring a business to a district? So I started talking to business owners, and I started talking to business owners not in this district. Like, I would go over there to, oh, what is that area called? Over there by the gallery, River Oaks. I go to River Oaks, and I started talking to those business owners. And I said, what would it take to bring your business to Acres Homes? And they laughed at me. And I was like, what's funny? Because I was being serious. Their issue is their insurance would be high because of crime.
Okay,
So I have to bring down crime.
yeah,
It's not as pretty as it is over there.
okay,
So I have to beautify this place.
yeah,
There's traction. You need people who are spending money.
right.
So if we're in a low income area, people usually aren't using their leftover money
That's right.
to shop in businesses.
Cause ain't no money left over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, now I know what we're looking at. There's a lot of parts, y'all, when
Yep.
we're talking about small businesses.
Yep.
And that's why I said I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible. But in order to bring business here, it's not gonna start in legislation. I'm just being transparent with you. It's gonna start with me working with your mayor, working with your police, working with your fire department, and working with your citymen and your councilmen to help clean up and raise up this part of the district to make a business owner like over there in River Oaks to say, hey, you know, the neighborhood's being raised up, there's traction coming in, there's people, you know, you're getting jobs, you're spending money, I wanna take my business over there. So that's something that I have to do, yes.
Another anchor, I'm getting is free phone, don't mind, is it take how you need. I specialize in skill labor and trade, so I develop youth and recidivism.
You said skill, labor and
Skill,
trade.
labor,
And trade, okay.
And opening up the pathway, between Africa and here.
Mhm.
So here's the bomb. Skill plan, cause that's a good.
Okay.
Those high-end businesses, they more than likely have a foundation or a nonprofit to work alongside the business.
Okay.
Have them open up business, they get low rent over here, you legislate that and work with that.
Right.
Business, to filling these empty warehouses. Talk to the police station and beef up security past their businesses, it's gonna look like preparation treatment, but it
Okay.
is. Because and then have them market it as a training to teach our entrepreneurs how to cook, how to run a business, how to do these things. He's getting free labor here, putting out his product, and then because that business is here, it brings the revenue up in taxes or whatever. It brings your budget up in the legislature,
That's
right? And you can reinvest it and have the high-end businesses that won't come, to use their nonprofits to make training things here. Education, skill labor is trainable, where the children don't have to sit in college all day or whatever. You know, in this area, everybody ain't going to college.
Right.
So you start in a trade, cooking, running a business, entrepreneurship. You help them start their business, you give them grants to get their LLCs, teach them how to run it, SAM.gov, teach them how to apply for these government contracts, there you go.
Yeah.
I like that, thank you.
Yeah.
I will, thank you.
Yeah, and I want you, I'm trying to find these notes real quick. I want you to add to that, if I can find this in time. What the sister said, what this sister said about AI, being a game changer, is a game changer globally. And it's most certainly going to affect, our people on this level. I can't find the video, but there are, I was one of the speakers, like, I think 2 weeks ago, and I was talking about the crisis of grassroots leadership, to what Ms. Ruth said, which I believe in 110%. We don't have leadership coming from the community up. We don't build from the community up. We try and build from the roof down or from the outside in. And that's never going to work because people who come from the outside take their money back out. So we got to find a way to empower our people here. So I played a video, and I think it was just Brother Will and Miss Fontenot in the audience at the time. I played a video of a guy talking about changes to the global financial system that are happening right now. Things like DeFi, tokens, cryptocurrency technology, all these terms, and I made a list of all the terms he said. It was about 35 of them that most people have no idea what those terms are. But if you're in the know, you know those terms because you're connected to a global financial system that you know is changing. So I like the idea about the training, but I don't like the idea about getting Acres Homes, not Acres, I'm giving what's that picture?
River Oaks.
Yeah, getting River Oaks people who already have money, who already have businesses,
I see
getting
what you're
them
saying.
getting them to come here
Mhm.
because they're gonna make money from the community and take it back there.
I see what
We
you're
got to employ our people here. We got to build our businesses from the ground up here. Why? Because this is where we are. And if we can help our people build businesses here where they are, then they're going to stay here, more than likely. And the money, the revenue benefits the community here. But we can't afford to look at only traditional businesses like restaurants, if you will.
Right.
We got to look at the AI. We got to look at the global systems. We got to look at security. We got to look at the things that are coming that the world is moving toward, and not just look at what's already here. Because if we don't do that, we're going to be left behind. And that's one of the reasons why we are left behind, because we're not looking at the future. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go to Ms. Final, then we're gonna close this thing up. I want you to keep in mind everything that your elders have said,
Yes.
but specifically what Ms. Ruth said. She's been in Acres Homes for 50 years. I don't know how old she is. She's about 52. Don't tell about your age. All right, but she made a good point, and I'm not sure if you caught it. She made a good point in that there are people that she's known, she's been in Acres Homes, who are still struggling to understand the basics of civics.
And they should not,
And that's a problem.
and they should not.
And they are struggling to understand the basics of civics because of what this sister said. We don't have a political village. We don't have a cultural village. We don't have a village that's going to help us learn how to read. So we have to understand that the reason why, and again, it's what Ms. Ruth said, the reason why people don't vote across the country, because there's a disconnect between the importance and value of my vote, because no one is taking the time to educate them on that vote. So once you make it to wherever you're trying to go in this political war, because politics is war without bloodshed, you're going to have to create a pipeline. You said that you're not a career politician. Amen to that. But you can be a career political advocate, which is more important than being a politician. You have to be thinking about who's going to come after you. All of us in this room got to be thinking about what kind of world we're going to create for her and the young lady sitting next to her, because they're up next. Right. So we don't build that pipeline of whomever is going to take your place, and how we're going to make Miss Ruth's 50 years of service not null and void, because we're creating a pipeline by which the homeless people under the bridge and whatnot, we can help them come up, because we've created a village and an environment by which we can do that. But if you're not thinking along those lines, you will never do it, because you're not thinking about it.
I agree.
Yeah. So everything that your elders have said, take that to heart, because all of it is gold. And that's why we have to include our elders with our young people to build a village where we're crossing generations, and we can make this thing happen in a very real way. Because as passionate as Black people are about wanting change, our enemies, they match that passion with process. They match that passion with organization. They match that passion with know-how. So while we're passionate about wanting, they are doing. And we're missing out because we don't understand how to do. And it's not that we're not just as intellectually capable as they are.
Because we are.
We're just too busy trying to survive to think about anything else.
And that's a real
And
thing.
we got to understand we have to be multi-purpose. Ms. Fontenot, then we wrap it up.
Back to those propositions.
Mm-hmm.
I live in South Park. I belong to a senior center.
Mm-hmm.
They were asking me just yesterday, what are all those propositions?
Come
And I
on.
know
Yep.
they're asking.
Yep.
Acres Homes, salty people are asking,
Hmm.
are you addressing that?
Good point.
It's so funny that we're talking about these propositions because I don't know if y'all are on social media. If you're not, go follow me on there. My main platforms are Facebook and TikTok.
Not to stop you, but we can't work out problems, so how can we?
That's okay. Because I have to show you.
That's
No,
for the people
I'm
online, that's for the people online.
But those propositions, my issue, because I'm having to read up on them and I'm having to learn about them. When my legislators should have came back from Austin, hosted a town hall and explained it to me. But that's okay, that's neither here nor there. I've created a post that is actually going to go out on Monday explaining some of these propositions. I'm still learning up on them because they are gonna be on the ballot this November 4th. So it's gonna be so important that we understand what they are, because what y'all don't understand is that some of these propositions are,
Stop right there. Stop addressing what we don't know,
Well,
because to me, that's an insult.
yeah, because some people do not,
I don't-
yeah, because they know.
We know.
well, I don't, I'm sitting here telling you, I don't know, I
Well,
am
stop
having to
saying
reading up on
that.
them.
We don't.
Well, I don't know, so
There you go.
I am having to read up on them, I am
Are
having
you
to educate
aware that
myself.
those propositions, the majority of them are written by Republicans.
Yes, I am. When you read them, you can tell they're written by Republicans. One of them, one of the criminal justice ones that I was reading, I don't know what number it is, but I know it's gonna be on the ballot. They're wanting it so a repeat offender is now going to be hard for them to make bail. And when we look at the statistics in the criminal justice system, y'all, that affects us. That affects us,
Yeah.
brown and black folks.
It's the system.
It is the system. And so when I found out about these propositions and I started reading up on them, I was so frustrated because you don't see your legislators talking about this. I've seen two
They
legislators.
trying to get a town hall together and have y'all people running for legislation to talk about it.
Honestly, that's a great idea, and that's what I'm really fixing to go work on. Thank you.
We here because
That's a good one. I like that.
they're not doing enough anymore.
But
And it's not that we don't dishonor what they've done, because they held a position in such a place that they made it not as bad as it could have been
Yeah.
had they blacked us. So I'm not here to denigrate anybody
Right.
sitting anywhere.
Right.
What are we gonna do now to educate those who don't know?
Right.
Who not on social media?
Right.
We talk about town halls. Are you every 2 months gonna commit to doing a town hall, whether you're in office or not, because we still gonna be needing to know what's happening in Austin.
Don't stop.
Listen, I can commit to doing a town hall. The thing is you have to show up. I can't make you show up.
Can you show up when they slow to show up? Because
Yes, I
that's
can.
Part of the work.
Yes, I can.
Cause you can't control how people warm up to you. And sometimes it has to take somebody here saying, just come go with me here. And
Right,
it may be
right.
5 conversations with people, especially in our age group, cause I'm almost 60. So, we don't like change. We've lost some children and husbands and not saying you guys haven't, but we've been losing longer than y'all have been alive.
Yeah.
So then we tired.
Yeah.
And we got menopause and brain fog and all of these things going on. Our parents are dying, we're outliving our children, right? All these things. So we may be slow to show up, or life may be life for us,
Yeah.
or it may not be a good day.
Come on.
So you need to commit that if you're serious about this position, if nobody show up, you're gonna keep showing up, because that's how you build trust.
Yeah, amen.
I can do that. That's not an issue. And I mean, I can sit here and I can say that.
You said, and that's what I'm saying.
I got you.
I want this room to be your lunch pad for real, and you think about what you're saying before you say it, because people outside this community, and they look like us, but outside this community, living better than some of us are living, right? If you say that in an open, that's a reason for them to count us out and count you out. I don't want that reason to live past this room.
I appreciate that.
That's why I'm asking you these questions publicly, because these ladies are elder. I knew I recognized her face, I didn't want to say nothing. And I learned ropes, things. I'm a fierce advocate in a quiet space. You've been in my presence, you need something, I can call somebody up here. to get you what you need, but we need to collectively bring that to the community. And I don't want you to disappear, win, lose, or draw.
Right.
Because I've been in the community for 35+ years. The reason why I'm quiet and popular, right, is because you can call me. Whether you shout me out, say, Miss Kim, help me, or whether you quiet on it, or whether you tear my name down. I don't care, that's what family do. We fall in and fall out.
Right.
We correct, because we love you, because you in the community, and if you're gonna represent us, you need to get with us so you never lose sight of this community. Because when you take your hands off the heartbeat and the pulse of the community, you ain't gonna know when they dead.
Right.
And that's why people don't show up.
Yeah. So Dominique, I want you to, you can obviously hear the passion.
Yeah.
Hell, I can feel it.
Yeah.
And I want you to I want you to think about the fact that her pain, her passion, her love, we have people who are working so that when they grow up, they have the same passion, pain, and love because they don't care about them.
Mhm.
We got to come to, as a community, we got to understand that we have enemies, for real, who are hell bent on creating a kind of America where we are always second-class citizens. So they want to make sure that these young sisters grow up to be just as frustrated because they're not going to give them anything they need to be what God created them to be. So when you go in, and this is why Ms. Groot's questions and Ms. Martin's questions are so important, because you don't have a grassroots base by which you can build. You don't have that track, you got to build that track record. Because Black people, especially older Black people, we're gonna look at you sideways, like, okay, you want me to vote for you, but who are you and where have you been? So regardless of if you win or not, you need to take her passion to heart because you got to keep fighting whether you win, because it's not about you winning, it's about you fighting regardless.
Right.
And if you fight regardless, then when you do run, you will get the votes and you will win. But at that point, you build a track record.
Right.
Okay. So on that note, tell people why they should vote for you, how they can help you, and then close it out with your last statement.
First, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you because the wisdom that y'all have just poured into me today is needed.
Black people are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we really are.
We really are.
We really are.
Yeah.
The reason why you should vote for me is because like Miss Ruth was just sitting here this entire time and she has expressed, the only time that you see a politician is when it's election time and they need your votes. I've sat and I've told you before, I'm not a career politician. If you see what I am doing in the community and you see how I am working myself tirelessly without pay, okay, because nobody's funding this, right? You'll understand that I really do have a heart for the people and the pieces that I'm trying to move, the things I'm trying to do, how I'm trying to bring up the 139. When you see me move, it really will speak for itself. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna ask you for your vote just to be able to get in Austin and do what everybody before me has done. We really do need a real change. I am going to be your voice. I am you. Believe it or not, take it with a grain of salt, but I am you. So when I'm going to that Capitol, I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for our children. I'm fighting for our elderly. I'm fighting for our teachers, our veterans. It's so many people that I am fighting for. It is not just myself. I am not a career politician. I'm tired just like you're tired. I want change just like you want change. If you want to donate to my campaign, you can do so by going to Payton, that's Payton, fortx139.org. You can go to my website, you can volunteer, you can donate. My contact information is on there. If you want me to come out into your community, if you want to host me at your house, because yes, people do that, I will come and I will speak to your family and friends to let you know a little bit more about me. I appreciate you guys so much. I thank you for your time and God bless y'all.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So before I close this thing, does anybody have anything they want to share as far as community events, work that you're working on, anything coming up? Anybody on this partner? Oh, no. Oh.
So mine, I am hosting, campaign kickback, but it's at booths on Leland Street, right? There was tonight, from 4:30 to 7:30, hosting, State Rep. Dominique. And that, so when I say host, my platform, I don't care if you Republican, Democrat, or thinking about it. The candidate, incumbent, or formerly in our office, because the goal number one is to support a small, business that look like us.
Yeah.
Right? And when you talk about civic engagement, things, people come to the door, because the spaces are gone in the community there. So, and the next is to really have candid conversations. The conversation is small. You only have 30 minutes. It's really for community to come, see what they need from one another, because with these political candidates comes the community.
Yep.
Right, so the community comes, and it's a great opportunity to put a glass of wine, or eat, or try to menu the food, because I do offer some appetizers, right?
What's it called again?
It's called a campaign kickback.
Campaign kickback.
Yes, it is a play on the word kickback, because mostly our people are seen, always look like we on the, it's implied that we're on the tape.
Mm.
So it is a play on word, I admit that. It
Okay.
is a campaign kickback. I control pictures,
Mhm.
but you can't come in, you got a certain area you can take a picture. You're
Okay.
not gonna catch them a food or drink in their hand, but it is a kickback.
Okay.
I need them to relax.
Okay.
I need them to really connect with this community of people that's in here.
Mhm.
I need them to understand that they're not a star. Their power comes from our voices.
That's right.
To support them.
That is right.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Creating community, making us feel like community again, putting your phones up, because you can't take a picture until it's over, me in this phone.
Okay.
Like that.
How long you been doing this?
Oh, it's since 2018. I think my first one in 2018.
And you do it every week, every month?
So I do it on a Thursday, so it's consistent.
Okay.
From 4:30 to 7:30. Any Thursday that I can get a candidate or somebody that's been in the office to, come and sit.
Okay, I'd like to help you with that, to bring some candidates on board, because I think that's important, Brother Will. Go ahead. Okay, so I'm gonna say lastly, in closing, thank you guys for being here again. It matters when we show up, and when we show up, we can make anything happen. I don't think there's a question that can be posed that a Black person somewhere cannot answer. And if there is no answer for it, we'll wrap that thing in aluminum foil and put it on the antenna and watch Good Times, because that's what we do. We make a way out of no way, and if you don't know what that means, you're probably young. So, we have a weekly digital magazine called Growth for Care Digital. The Growth for Care Alliance is the parent organization of what we do. This comes out every week. And the person that is featured is our previous speaker, so Dominique will be on the next cover. But I started doing this magazine because there's so much happening in the country that's not good for us. But along with that, there are a lot of good things that are happening that we need to highlight and promote. So I published the magazine. I publish it on every Tuesday so that I can advertise for what's coming up on Thursday. And we're pushing 2,000 subscribers. And of course, we have Black businesses in it. We have organizations. And I would want to, what's her name again? Ms. Kimberly, if you have a flyer for your kickback, your campaign kickback, I would love to put it in the magazine. If you don't, I'll create one for you. Because it's about this is really the only.
When is that coming out?
This comes out every Tuesday.
Okay.
So whenever you know you're gonna have a Thursday, just let me know and I'll make sure it's in there. Yeah, so it's this is the only grassroots digital magazine in the country that focuses on building grassroots Black power. And I know that because we come from 6 pillars of building that power: spirituality, culture, education, economics, socioeconomics, and politics. No one is trying to build Black power like we are, because nobody understands. So when I tell you that this is the only digital magazine of its kind, I'm telling you that it is because nobody's doing what we're doing. And the fact that we have answers, like in this room, this is why I tell you pay attention to your elders. In this room, I heard for everybody that spoke, but people that didn't speak, and you and Brother Will, this doesn't mean you don't have ideas, you just didn't share them. But in this room this morning, you got about 6 or 7 gems of ideas, that all the time. But what happens is that we hear good ideas, But when we don't get to where we want to be as it relates to politics, we don't implement the ideas. But like our sister was saying, just because you don't win the office that you're trying to seek doesn't mean that the ideas don't get implemented. Because we still got to build, we still got to do. When this whole project 2025 thing that's ahead of schedule, when we were trying to get people to wake the hell up starting last February, 90% of the people that we were trying to share information with said that it wasn't true, it wasn't real, it can't happen, they can't do that, blah, 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 blah. And next year, when all this stuff kicks in, you're going to see a change in the lives of poor people, black, white, and otherwise, that's going to be horrendous. Desperate people do desperate things because they got to eat.
That's right, yes.
So when you have the powers that be that are cutting out your means to feed your family, they want to do away, 75% of people who get AFDC and WIC, they want to cut that out. Just that bullet point alone is going to affect a lot of people.
That's right.
And the people that are living under the bridges, that's going to increase.
Yeah.
But that's by design.
Everybody's like that.
So if we don't get our people who are running for office or in the community, who are already in office, to look, damn it, you got to pick a side.
Mhm.
And whatever side you pick, we're going to know based on what you do, not what you say. And then we need to operate accordingly. But this Project 2025 thing is not a joke. These people are not playing games. And we have to remember that we were brought here for a reason. And it was not to sit in a black-owned restaurant and be treated like a first-class citizen. A lot of people still have that idea of what we're supposed to be in mind, and they act based on how they see us in their minds, which is dangerous for us. Because if we don't get active, then what's in their minds will become the reality. And if we're not politically active, if we're not mobilized, and we're not organized, if we're not doing everything Sister Dominique said that she wants to do and we need to do, we're going to find ourselves in a position of being a permanent underclass in the country that was built by our people. So we got to remember that our enemies do not care about your pain, your suffering, your tears, they don't care about none of that emotion. They are about power, they're about money, and they're about winning.
And control, because look at what they're doing to their own
You-
party.
they-
the state legislature.
Girl, you can't control without money and power.
Pay attention to
Yeah.
what's going on this Saturday.
100%, 100%. So
And how they're fixing to try to push 10 of their Republicans out of office because they're not conservative enough.
that's it.
Because they work with the Democrats across the aisle,
Yeah.
because they were trying to help our people, they're fixing to push them out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Including the judges.
Yeah.
Including the judges. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we do Thursday morning breakfast every Thursday morning. And we don't just do people who are running for office. Any entity that has good news, good information for the community, we want to invite them out to speak. We've had people from the city of Houston come out, we've had Port Houston come out, we had a number of nonprofits, we got people running for office, we got people in office. If there's a good thing that can make the community bigger, better, and stronger, we want the community to know about that thing. And again, we want to be the bridge between whatever that thing is and the community. So if you guys have something that you want to share, you can be a speaker. Just let me know. I'll put you on. I got to get you to come talk. Period.
I'm coming to that.
You know, I mean, you have, you know, and like every Thursday morning, this room should be full
It really should.
because we've never had a bad speaker, but it's not always full for whatever reason. If we work together as a group, we can make it full. We just got to work together, and we got to also understand that if we don't work together as a group across the board, they don't have a snowball chance in hell of a life worth living.
I'm telling you.
And trust me when I say every, you know, I don't share this often. I'm gonna share this real quick, then I'm gonna shut up. Everything that we have been through in this country, everything that we've been through in this country has been public policy. It's been done on purpose by people with power. And if we don't understand that there are people who have agendas, and those agendas are not pro us, then we're going to find ourselves going through the same kind of hell that our people have already been through. These are the major things that have happened to our people in this country. From slavery to the movies that they make via Hollywood. This stuff is history, and a lot of this stuff is current events. If you were to add up, bingo. If you were to add up all this stuff, it would be over 2,000 plus years and 2,600 if you add them all up. 2,600 years of hell, organized hell that we've gone through. But we've only gone through this organized hell because we don't have organized righteousness to meet it.
Yes.
So we got to mobilize and organize. So Dominique winning is, I'm not sure if she knows this, it's bigger than her. We got to make sure that she and people like her win so that they don't have to go through the same hell that you and I went through, that she might be experiencing, that they want them to go through. So if we don't take this political thing seriously, then we're gonna find ourselves on a new kind of slave ship.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be checkmate for Black people.
But you know what gets me is when, the other night, I was at a town hall in my neighborhood, with police, it was open house.
Mhm.
And so they had the sergeant of Baker's home, police officer, so I asked her a question. The first thing she came and said, she cleaned up Walgreens.
Mhm.
We cleaned the parking lot out. So I asked her, I said, what did you do with the homeless people? She said, we gave them a recommendation to go downtown. I said, well, okay, what was the recommendation that you gave them? We gave them a piece of paper, to tell them where they could go, get a house. And if they didn't go within 24 hours, we come back and arrest them. I say, when you arrested them, before you got paperwork made out, they were back out of jail. Going back? She said, yes. I said, then where did they go when they come back out of town?
Back to the park lot.
She said they could go downtown and get a place to stay. I said, you lying. This is what I told her. I said, because first place, you only allow 5 more people in certain homes downtown, places downtown to live when you go down there. And you got to be there by 3. And they only take 5 people, new people a day.
Okay,
You get out at 5 o'clock every morning.
okay.
They turn you out. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have IDs or ID, if you don't have ID,
Yeah.
a social security card,
Mm-hmm.
you can't apply
Okay.
to come in. You come in there that night, but you got to have ID and social security card.
Yeah.
If you don't have ID and social security card,
You ain't getting back
you're
in.
on the streets.
That's right.
At night, when you stay in there, you got to take everything you got. You can top it.
Yeah.
You got to shower with it. You got to do the bathroom on top of it. And then you got to watch the back door because they only have 2 people way at the front and on the people let people in the back door.
That's right.
They open in the back door, letting folks in.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna see those people up there until 4 o'clock in the morning when they bring their thing and let you in. Right? So if you call that safe living,
Yeah.
then they talk to you when they come up here like a dog.
Yeah.
Get your shit, get out of here. You know. So if you call that living a good living, I'd rather live on the streets.
Right. Right. And to that, we gotta also understand that just because a person looks like us and that they're blessed with melanin, don't mean that they are us. They're the same as us. We gotta be like Chris Rock. Love Black people, hate niggas. 2 different.
Yeah.
See y'all next Thursday. God bless.
So that's why people stay in the street.
Amen. It's a reason for it.
Better on the street because